It will be perfect.
Really states are questionable about this. Really states are questionable this crisis. Anyway, hello and welcome to Yoda Soda Creations, the podcast. A group of friends who are attend the bit, two of which attend the business talking movie sequel recent. On the news desk, seems there's a chunk of the original script. Seems there's a chunk of the original script of the Infinity War that was revealed, where Thanos had originally wiped out the Nova cores.
So, like on screen.
Yeah. Maybe they just didn't want to completely wipe them out. It's like maybe they could be used for another movie, you know?
It's already freaking long too.
Yeah.
They probably cut everything that was not absolutely necessary.
Sorry about that. I was if that actually kept continuing, I would have been like, not now. But
Anyway,
but the power of my end went off for a bit.
Oh,
Thankfully, thankfully I'm working on it. Thankfully my desktop's hooked up to a battery backup system of sorts,
ah,
which basically you plug in a lot of devices, and when the power goes out, it'll keep things up for an
power them
extended.
for a while afterwards.
Yeah. The only downside is that the pack beeps, so that's keeps it well aware keeps it well aware that you keeps you well aware that things will keeps you well aware of so
Yeah.
and there's some and there's some time to and gives you the time needed to power down and wait it out until the power's back on. Just hope that let's just hope it doesn't go out for real tonight.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
Okay, getting back to the desk. Seems the Infinity War writer. Seems the Infinity War writers teased Doctor Strange and Iron Man's armor.
Huh. That's weird.
it's not like that. He's not that type of intelligent usually. He's more magic based usually, so that's kind of interesting.
I mean, to be fair, he is a legit doctor, so he is, he ain't dumb.
No, he's just not trained in that area. Yeah,
Yeah. Completely different expertise.
he could be a doctor at something and not know how to do plumbing, right? Same type of deal. It's like mechanical engineer, huh? Yeah.
Right.
Seems Everfree Network teased a possible return on their Twitter, though given the crisis, I wouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah, how was Everfree doing for this pandemic?
Network, not the convention.
Wow, that is a name I have not heard in a long time. Yeah, Everfree Network. As in, oh, those guys that ran Everfree Radio.
Oh,
Which was basically the thing. Which was basically the thing. Oh,
started out
go on.
as Everfree Radio, switched to Everfree Network when they started doing a lot of video stuff, including, of course, Stay Burning My Friends.
Yeah, and they covered conventions and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if that returns, it's like, like it's basically what I. Well, it depends on what part of the network comes back. If it's like convention coverage, like okay, I'm still subscribed to their YouTube channel. If it's the radio bit, it's like, I might have to switch back to that.
I would say, given the crisis and how a lot of things are being streamed online and things like that, I wouldn't be too surprised.
Right.
I have a feeling this one has a connection to the Gareth Edwards movie, but seems Godzilla versus Kong is a thing.
Yeah.
There seems to be another Goosebumps resurgence.
Yep.
You'll never guess who's getting vibes from his own books, thanks to the quarantine.
Oh.
Stephen King,
Ew.
The Shining. Here's something a little related to the main topic as well. It's what's going to be going on for most of the month. DCG12B, aka the creator of Jimmy the Genty series on YouTube, is finally on Twitter.
I have no idea what that is.
Long story short, it's a fan-made Thomas spin-off with some connection to a spin-off event of sorts when one of the Lions lost their license for the Thomas event.
Ah. Yeah, again, I'm like the resident non-train enthusiast of the group, so yeah.
I'm not really a train enthusiast either, but I'm planes. You can be cars. Sarcasm.
I'm not that big into cars either.
Ships.
But
Spaceship.
Eagles just start.
No, I'm just joking.
It's like you could tell me to look out for like a certain make and model of a car. It's like, okay, red car, got it.
Cool.
Like I have trouble all keeping straight like which logos are what are what, you know.
Which brand? Yeah, I would have trouble too.
My main concern with cars are, do I fit comfortably in them? And that's about, yeah.
Do you have a driver's
That's about as far as it goes. I was actually planning on working on that this year, but then all of this happened. So I have kind of put most plans that involve going out and tests and meetings and all that kind of stuff on hold until the whenever. It's like, yeah, I could take the written or like the test thing, but I still need to take the driving lessons and all that stuff. And yeah, that's not happening anytime soon. So it's like, why rush? You know?
I guess, yeah.
It's like, for all I know, stuff's still going to be closed down for like the next month or two. Or who knows? Yeah, 2020, the year the world stopped.
Yeah, and now doubts are being shown if it even helped. If it was even worth it. Kind of hard to say now.
Well, apparently Sylvester Stallone's going to return in the third volume of Guardians.
Really? Oh yes, because he's
Yes, yeah, he's in that, yes.
Forgot about that.
Cool. Ooh.
the John Wick directors are going to be choreographers for the fourth Matrix.
I did hear about that. I'm not sure about the fact that there's going to be a fourth Matrix film. Like, can we just have another John Wick movie? Yeah, I hear those are actually pretty good.
So Wonder Woman's apparently
Uh,
getting. Go on.
no, go ahead.
Wonder Woman's apparently getting an Amazon's spin-off, but seems the director of 1984 is not going to be attached. Probably not to the third movie either.
Hmm. I'm still on the fence on like further DC films. Like, yeah, I did see Wonder Woman. It was okay, but it's like I just don't really have that much confidence in like DC's movies. You know? Did he cut out again? Or
Just, just trying to. Fortunately, announced that make regarding it. Unfortunately, not to make recording units can be attempt to get fake, so I need to check online sources to see how close I am.
right? I was just quiet. I was wondering, like, if it was like one of you guys, or if my earbud was having one of those issues again, like the other week.
Filmmakers of Posey and the Pussycats seem to have pitched a Du Jour spin-off.
Uh, right. Okay.
I'm trying to think of the layout of this picture, kind of like how things should fit.
Right. Seeing news and merchandise. the colored version of the concept art for the Sunset Shimmer Kotobukiya figure was released. Still no
Really?
release date for the figure. Yeah, still no release date for the figure itself, but with everything going on, that's to be expected.
I think I might have seen that on Equestria Daily, right? Was it on Equestria Daily?
Yeah, it was on the QD.
I just saw it. I didn't read it. Yeah. I've been not having as much time to go on Equestria Daily as I wanted.
Yeah, I poke by there like once or twice a day.
The Spy versus
Oh, what?
Whoa.
the Spy versus Spy movie, which apparently was in development for a while, seems to have attached Rawson Marshall Thurber as director.
Wait. Spy versus Spy. As in Mad Magazine Spy versus Spy. Yeah, sure, why not?
I think it's a cartoon, right?
Well, that's another Spy versus Spy thing. I don't know. I just remember it from Mad Magazine. Back when I
Yep.
used to read Mad Magazine.
Pointy noses, one in white, one in black.
Yeah, that's them.
Yeah.
God, I remember when they were doing the Harry Potter parodies. That's around the time frame I was actually reading them. So a long time ago.
Well, the Toy Story 4 director is apparently developing an animated Transformers prequel set apart from Bumblebee's spin-off as well as the Bayverse. So a different animated Transformers, basically.
Sure, not like we have enough continuities as it is.
James Cameron's Adventure 2, Sigourney Weaver returns as Dr. Gracie Augustine, according to a new behind-the-scenes photo.
Okay.
Seems Universal was apparently under controversy for theatrical respect, according to a report of sorts from Regal, which will be going back to them, apparently.
I mean, I know there's a bit of a spat between Universal and AMC due to the whole Trolls World Tour home release or like digital release or whatever.
They didn't like that.
Not really. It's like, fine. We don't need Universal movies. Like, yeah. We'll see how long that decision lasts.
Yeah, they're not doing so hot, I thought.
Yeah. Then again, no, none of the theaters are exactly doing all that great right now.
Seems to have another title change. Space Jam: New Legacy.
So they're making a Space Jam remake?
Sequel.
Sequel.
Cool. Interesting.
So, I'm just wondering, like, who's the target audience for this?
Yeah, is it going to be
It is for kids, because do a lot of kids even know Looney Tunes anymore? but it's like they're not exactly, big anymore.
Yeah.
You could argue they were that big when Space Jam originally came out, but like there's still like recent history with Cartoon Network showing that stuff,
Yeah.
Or is it for like people who saw the original film? In which case, I mean, it's been how long since the first film? Did we really need this?
Yeah.
I mean, I may be wrong, but it's like I'm not seeing this doing that great. Especially if it follows the thing on the first one and being a hybrid live action cartoon thing.
There hasn't been a movie like that in a while.
Don't they tend to not do that great?
Uh, uh,
Generally.
what was the Who Framed Roger Rabbit did decently, didn't it? I don't remember.
Yeah, but I think with that, it was because it was basically like, hey, this is a new thing. Like,
Nah.
wasn't it like one of the first ones that actually did something like that?
I guess, yeah.
It's like I'm trying to think, like, okay, live action cartoon hybrid, Space Jam, Rocky and Bullwinkle,
Classics. Hanna-Barbera stuff.
yeah. Actually, not a lot of things are like popping into my mind for that niche of a style.
Well, getting back to a question ideally, them spreading herd is now available.
Yeah, that thing.
Full release or something?
Yep.
Yeah, I already bought my copy long ago.
The Endgame directors have teased a possible return for Robert Downey in the MCU.
Of course they have. I mean, like, he was one of the favorite characters, if not the most beloved character from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That and Doolittle didn't do that great.
Yeah.
I figured
Too soon?
I figured with performance like that, he needs it.
He doesn't need
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's like from what I've read, the Tony Stark role is like the exception to the rule for how things typically go for him for movie roles. It's just that this exception has lasted an exceptionally long time.
Some interesting things popped up regarding Disney's live-action Hercules. Jeff Goldblum and Gene Carrey are popular choices for Hades, and Josh Gad supports Arena Grande and Danny DeVito to possibly reprise their roles, if I'm saying that correctly.
I mean,
I see Danny DeVito doing his. Well, is he? Well, it's a live action, so I guess that's kind of weird. I mean, he was just in Jumanji.
I mean, like the voice is, Yeah. So I'm just not really able to get on board the whole old Disney live action thing. It
Yeah,
is the issue.
I still haven't watched like half of them.
I haven't watched any of them.
Wait, have I watched? I've watched the John Jungle Book one.
And speaking of Disney live action, it seems they want to attempt a live action version of Dragon Ball Z.
Really?
Wait, what? Please repeat yourself. I must have misheard that.
The only thing that's going through my mind with that is somehow be better than Evolution.
Given how things have been going, they'll somehow make it worse. I don't know how, because God, there was so much wrong about Evolution. Goku never went to school! Like, I never even watched that movie, and that movie is painful. Please continue.
Well, there's been the occasional tease for a Twilight Midnight Sun movie that seems to be rumored for a release this month.
The what now?
Yeah, even I'm a little surprised that this is apparently still happening.
Wait, isn't it that one where it's like the first book, but from the other perspective?
From what I've read,
Or,
Midnight Sun is a supposed prequel of sorts.
huh. Well, I've never heard of it.
News to me.
I don't see that going well either. So who? I mean, it's Twilight. Who cares about Twilight anymore?
Twilight Sparkle. You don't care about her.
Even the actors in Twilight don't like Twilight.
That's pretty common though.
I'm sure a number of us pretty much expected this, but Frozen 2 won the KCA for favorite animated movie.
Of course.
Frozen 2? Really? I don't know. It feels like the hype for Frozen 2 died off like really fast. You know what I mean? Is that just me or
Yeah, kind of.
I don't know, it just didn't feel like there was, many people talking about it when it came out.
I think it's the case of it's a Disney sequel. The first movie ended on a completely fine note. Why did we need a sequel except money?
To be fair, I think it's safe to say that a lot of people were kind of expecting this.
Yeah. I mean, it may be a sequel, but it's still Frozen. Also, Disney. It's like you just like if there's something that involves a war or there's some sort of movie, is Disney will end up taking home something.
Finished. Good. No spoilers. But
What?
do you guys are kind of robot mode for me? Am I robot mode for you?
You were occasionally.
Cutting out for a bit. And finally, this week's casualty report. And again, the causes are going to vary. Ritz Ahmed family members, Jerry Givens, Irfan Khan, and Sam Lloyd.
Thankfully, a generally short list this week.
You all good, fam?
Yeah, swallowed, went down wrong pipe.
I swallowed my mint. Right, like I said, these things are getting kind of questionable in these times. Really, these things are getting kind of questionable these times because according to the last EQD post, IDW never said anything about rescheduling the comic we were supposed to cover, but for some reason we're not getting it. For some reason we haven't gotten a digital out. For some reason we haven't gotten a digital source yet. Or
I'm
any
thinking
news, or any news about it just yet. Even though, well, I think from the article it was stated that.
Well, I'm thinking maybe they don't want to have digital without the physical, in case, like, with this all going on, if it takes a while, then everyone's going to buy the digital, no one's going to buy the physical, and that'll hurt sales a bit, you know?
Well,
or at least physical sales, and, well, you know,
well, it said in the
they want the...
well, it said in the
Yeah.
well, it said in the article, their Diamond, which was apparently their main comics, which was apparently their largest comic dealer, wasn't exactly clear on whether or not it was postponed.
Right.
Either way, we're gonna have to jump into the plans I have for. Either way, we're gonna jump into the plans I have for May, which is it's the 75th anniversary of Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yay.
Yet only two of us know of it.
I mean, I may or may not have watched it as a kid, but I don't remember. And hell, I have more memories of a certain song that will not cease. If you know what I speak of. But yeah, it's like complete and total blank as far as childhood memories for me.
Mine, mine requires the occasional family photographs, family videos, and things like that to kind of help. But parents are helpful. But yes, we are. But yes, we are starting the. But yes, we are starting our little celebration of this special special occasion with the fifth anniversary of fifth anniversary of my favorite of the movies they have put out, The Adventure Begins. Modern day interpretation of classic stories.
Yep. At first, I have to say it's like the faces were just like the faces were distracting. Like I'm not sure if uncanny valley is the right word for this, but it's like it was, ah, you know. But that's just me.
Yeah, I get that though. They're kind of. I'm not used to it either. The faces moving. I'm used to the Thomas the Tank Engine I watched was the original like stop motion and little models and stuff. So
And that
yeah, I'm not used
if
to
I watched
animated.
it, that probably would have been the one I would have watched as well. It's the characters. Eh, I mean, I could pretty much sum them up with their character traits. Like Thomas is the eager one. Then you have the prideful one, the jerk, the nervous one, and Thomas's friend. They have names, but God knows I can't keep them straight. It's like they all have almost the exact same face, and like a few of them have similar color schemes. So it's like, hey, what? Uh, oh, and Monopoly Man. You know, the guy with the top hat.
To compound that, there's actually an episode that came out years before this that actually had a similar looking guy, but it included the mustache.
Also, I think uh, one of Top Hat guy's assistants, I think may have been the Fallout mascot doing a summer job. You know, like the Pit Boy guy? You know, blonde hair and everything. It's like, huh. That's like a distinct blonde color there. It's like, huh. May, who knows? Maybe it's an island that escaped the apocalypse. Ooh, but didn't escape the radiation, and that's why the trains can talk and have faces and are living. It's a result of the radiation. Thomas now takes place in the Fallout universe. Headcanon confirmed. But anyway, the plot.
Before any of the events that were going on in these times, one of which we'll be covering at the end of the month, most likely.
Yeah.
At first, there were only 4 engines.
Yeah, I thought there were more, but I couldn't place it.
Yeah, the 4 engines. Nervous one, prideful one, jerk, and not Thomas's friend yet. I don't know. I can only pick up a distinct character trait for that one. I mean, trying to be helpful, but yeah.
He's one of the older and kinder engines on the line.
Well, someone had to be.
So after a small exchange in the yards, which was not in the books, but certain somewhere else, Thomas fans can probably talk to you about that kind of stuff, or even the original television series for that matter. We start to go more into the first of the stories that was taken for this. Where Gordon is pulling a goods train, but can't seem to get up the hill.
Yeah, he could think he could try all he could, but it just would not work. Yeah, we were watching it as I was kind of riffing on it, making reference to several of the other train-related things we've watched so far. Have to get my amusement somewhere. Yeah, unfortunately, it's like one of those things that's pretty well established to be for a certain age group, and outside of nostalgia, doesn't really do anything for me.
It's honestly a miracle that I've come across a large group of people that have pretty much been hooked on since childhood before ponies came into the picture.
Right.
So Edward is called in to try and assist. Success.
Yeah, but the jerk didn't even thank him.
Back in the yard, and then there's only one little bit of dialogue from the books that's actually nice, but for the most part it's original for the special. The series titular character finally arrives, albeit in a different color scheme than what's on the cover artwork.
It did seem like I was kind of tripping because like parts of this I'm like, I remember this, right? So I guess it was like it was supposed to be like an amalgamation. Oh, sorry about that. A bunch of episodes, sort of.
Yeah, I distinctly remembered, like, wait, wasn't Thomas blue?
Yeah, like, wait a second.
It's just like one of those Bernstein Bears situations. It's like, have I been remembering it wrong this whole time?
No, you're right.
Yeah, it's kind of a point of contention amongst the fan base with this special that there were some certain liberties taken, but for the most part, the spirit of the originals they feel is here.
I guess the idea is he got shipped in from someplace, right?
Yeah.
And as for the book dialogue that I mentioned earlier, 6 small wheels, short stumpy boiler, short stumpy funnel, short stumpy dome. Classic.
You Stumpy. Oi, you Stumpy. Who you calling Stumpy, mate?
Also worth noting if you read the books, James has his correct early days livery. Yes, in the books he started off in black.
Hmm.
I bet you could get pretty deep into the Thomas the Tank Engine lore. I'm gonna do a basic coloring of this, and then I'll call it for tonight. But
one musical sequence later, which is a modern day interpretation of a classic song. Really useful engine.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about the songs.
Yeah.
They were strange.
Yeah, you kind of just went robot there.
Very strange.
Small one from Book Two Story One. Small one from Book Two Story One comes shortly afterwards. Why don't you work hard like me? Over to the shits for the night, and we're given a bit more into and Henry makes his appearance as well as we also get the occasional flashback. The occasional flashback as the classic total story is told. Oh dear.
Hey, Sarcasm. Do you have any
Yeah.
classic stuff you watched as a kid?
Uh, Not that I can remember.
Well, do you have any favorites series besides Pony? That is.
Uh, hmm.
Star Trek or something like that, or
I'm trying to think.
Doctor Who.
Uh, I'm not sure.
Hmm. Just wondering, maybe we could do one of your favorite series sometime.
Right.
Maybe it'll be Gravity Falls. Never know.
So
Yeah, never know.
so into some more material. So into some more material that was specific to the special as Thomas goes to get repainted. And it's worth noting that somewhere in the CG series they touched up upon the pink undercoat. So that doesn't just come out of the blue, but so that just doesn't come out of the blue. just doesn't come out.
Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere.
Go to a bit where he eventually meets the coach he's going to be eventually paired with. Oh, and also interesting a little bit for towards the end. Interesting a little bit for towards the end of the film.
What's that?
They mention coffee pot engines.
That they did.
Is that a specific type or something?
Keep this in mind. Keep this in mind for later.
Ooh, secrets.
But basically, this was also mentioned in published materials. So that's nice sound. Small bit of Jose Henry, and here's another point of contention for the here's another point of contention from the fan base.
What's that?
Seems they're not quite on board with Henry's characterization here because it's after the tunnel incident where he should be not afraid anymore.
Oh, that's true.
Also, on a physical note, he was supposed to be in his old shape at this point, but given the model, given the animators were kind of used to the model at that point, I think we can give them a slight. I think we give them a slight pass on it.
Yeah, I'm just looking up the voice cast. Like, have actually heard them in anything else.
Oh yeah, it's worth noting that. Martin Sherman, the original CGVA for Thomas, didn't. CGVA for Thomas was replaced in this. From this point onward. Anyway, another classic story. more of the first of the second book. Or if you watch the television series from the very beginning, the very first episode.
Right.
sometime later, and the cranes are given a name and personalities and faces, unlike the original series, as well as the books for that matter.
Right.
Oh yeah, recurring problem is going to be addressed later. At this point, James has wooden bricks.
Wooden brakes. It's the 18th century or something.
Interestingly, if you go online, there's bound to be a detailed history written somewhere.
But there is.
Next story that pops up. Next story they included in. That time, Thomas was supposed to take a train, but he accidentally left his coaches. Interestingly, that gets intertwined to the story that comes afterwards. Where he tried to take some cars to Edward Station, but didn't know of how troublesome the Sudrian wagon is.
They all died. Wait, wrong story.
Also another modern interpretation of another classic song, albeit a little later coming, like probably the tail end of the previous composers, but it's another favorite of the fan base.
They're really playing their cards hard.
Also worth noting, some classic themes are implemented.
Oh.
Classic music ditties from the original episodes have been reorchestrated.
Ah. Yeah, I wouldn't have caught that, so.
We're going with a green decal for this X-wing. I think we should do that.
shortly afterwards, there's a little bit between Holmes and Henry, where Henry finally gets over his rhinophobia. Some more time goes by, and Thomas gets a bit more. Thomas gets a bit more familiar with truck behavior. And then the final classic story comes in. Albeit this one, and I'm not the only one who thought, and I'm not the only one on the boat, and I'm not the only one on the boat. But it's safe to notice that the liberties taken were a bit more obvious here, in that Thomas actually follows James, whereas he was at the yard when James had his accident. When it comes to have some good arguments about some of the liberties taken. Good arguments about some of the liberties taken. But yeah, James's line, Thomas was rescued with a breakdown train, in this case, Judy and Jerome. And of course, he gets his own branch line by the end of it. And remember the coffee pots that I mentioned earlier?
Mm-hmm.
We actually get to meet one of them before we close out the film. And thankfully, there's a follow-up episode where he's addressed.
Huh. Okay. Well, I am really cloggy today. That's why I've been muting myself occasionally so I can clear my throat.
And while not in the upload that I sent for us all to watch, but the ending credits are quite nice with illustrations from the original books.
Yeah.
engine glow.
Yeah, looks good.
I like it. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cartoony. I like it. I'm not going
Yeah.
for really realistic. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of Star Wars, I may have seen a few spoilers regarding the most recent episode.
Oh.
Ooh.
Like,
I will say Order 66 was trending on Twitter.
It was,
yeah.
really?
Though apparently it retconned a few bits from the one novel that was supposed to explain what happened. But then they do that all the time, so, who cares?
Yeah. I'm not too concerned. And I like this better anyways.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's very, very, very good. If you haven't seen it yet, again, I keep saying it, but I highly suggest you watch it if you're a Star Wars fan, or heck, even if you just like some sweet sci-fi action. It's really good. It's really, really good. The
If you have a
music-
Disney Plus subscription and have nothing else going on, give it a watch.
Yeah. It is a. If you're a Star Wars fan, I don't know what you're doing. But if it can be excused if you aren't an avid fan. But yeah, it's just a good show. It's really, really good. This last arc is probably, if not definitely, the best arc I've seen from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. It's just so, 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 so good. The music in this was epic, compelling, amazing. I don't know. It's just the music alone was good, right? The music in this was better than the movies. All right, I'm just saying that. I'm not even joking. It was
But
more
seriously,
memorable. Sorry,
go ahead.
saying it's going to be more. It's more memorable than the movies. That's all.
Especially the most recent one.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Or the one before that.
Or the one before that. I guess the one before that was a little okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Force Awakens was okay.
I feel more and more like I just feel like I was played when I watched that. You know what I mean? Like I feel it was okay, but like, was it? You know what I mean? Like, I'm second guessing myself now because like the other ones were so bad. Like,
Yeah.
was this one just because Star Wars was back and that's why I was giving it a pass, or was it actually okay?
Yeah. But seriously though, on the Wars Trek axis of fandom, I think I'm somewhere in the range of Gate. Like Star Wars, Star Trek, nah, Stargate.
Stargate. I haven't watched Stargate as much. I've seen some of the ships and stuff, and some of the battles I've seen parts of.
Although I do have a somewhat of a fondness for the next generation. If only because that show is like everywhere. When it came around to having stuff syndicated for reruns, I mean, like it was on what channel was it? Well, probably Sci-Fi, and it was on G4.
Or they say G-Force like the guinea pig thing.
No, G4. That video game station. Good times.
By the way, Alex, if you still can't tell what this is, it's a train in Star Wars. So
I know what I know what that's referring to.
really,
Solo.
no, actually, I got you.
Or at least that's the first I know. Or at least that's kind of the first I know of.
It's more obscure than that. Um, uh, have you ever played Rogue Squadron for the Nintendo 64? That's the reference. It's actually a hover train. So the one in Rogue and the one in what was it called again? I forgot. Solo, just a train with like two sides, but this one is like an actual hover train, like it was floating along. It was a prison train with like guns, and it was like a mission where you had to come in and shoot the turret sections, and then destroy the engine or like the pilot part, and then you like went in and rescued all the rebels in the ship. It was really cool. I remember it being like hard as a kid, but I think it might just be that I was really bad. alternative possibility. I was bad at the game. I always went in guns blazing, and then I'd always get walloped by the AI. Like I just like come at me, bro, and then I just die. You know what I mean? Get me right.
Sort of figured that take the inspiration somewhere. Sad to say, though, I grew up knowing there were consoles like the GameCube and couple of GameCube, PlayStation. Most of my time, however, was mostly on film and television. Although I do still have my original Game Boy Advanced.
That thing. Hmm. Hmm. I don't think I have a Game Boy Advance left over, but I do have an original model DS, so, next best thing.
My sister had its predecessor, the SP.
I had one of those too. Oh, I'm out of tea. Ah.
Yeah, if you guys haven't played Rogue Squadron, would suggest. A true classic of the flight sim. You know what? Why haven't they made a Star Wars flight sim in a while? They used to kind of make them all the time. There's like TIE Fighter, Rogue Squadron.
Oh, are you forgetting Galaxy's Edge, where you fly the Falcon?
Yeah, it's not really a flight sim. If I gotta buy a $100 ticket every time I want to ride it, then it's or use it. It's not a flight sim.
I remember when they had flight and space simulations at the Museum of Flight. Don't know if they still have them, but
They still do, I think. But yeah, they need to release more flight sims. Where are my flight sims? I want pictures of Spider-Man. Bring me pictures of Spider-Man. Kind of like just sketching like this. It's kind of fun. Less stressful than like trying to make it look really good. This looks like crap. No, it's all right. Why is it so red? Maybe it just kind of looks red.
one thing I can note about the N64 is that I still have the strategy guide for Pokemon Snap.
Oh, I remember
Yeah.
that. That was kind of a weird game.
Fun though.
I never understood it. I think because I played it as a kid, so I didn't know what to do. I'd always just like sit on that little train thing and just like take pictures of things for a bit, and then like, okay, now what?
I still have my Ocarina of Time strategy guide.
Might be worth something.
And I don't even remember when I got Ocarina of Time. I mean, I swear I rented it at some point. Huh.
I just remember having nightmares of there's a noise that played when you got shot at by these like missile bays right here that I'm drawing.
Right.
Like the missile bays had the missiles themselves had a noise in the game, and it was like they chirped at you kind of weirdly, and it always gave me like anxiety as a kid because like they track you like relentlessly. You know what I mean? Like they would be like really good at tracking you. So like you'd have to like dodge and weave, and like one of them could really screw you up. And it was just like the first kind of like hard game I played as a kid, so it was like difficult for me. There was a for some reason when they're like flying at you, and there's like like just spinning and just doing anything you can to try to get out of the way. You know what I think
Yeah.
would look better? So okay, so there's these, right? Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah, right. Tell you what. And then we'll do another layer here, up here, right? Yeah. And then we'll have so kind of like bright white green. What's a blaster look? What's like a blast look like? Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think Rebels have been constantly. Well, I think about this. From what I can remember, I think there was occasional. I think there was some blasters that were red. Well, most of the red was in the Stormtrooper blasters.
I think it was okay. Yeah, turbo lasers are green. So I can do, and they're white. They're like basically white on the inside, like, so like,
Oh yeah, green for the Empire and red for the X-wings.
go. No.
But yeah, going through the Pokemon Snap strategy guide, and it was like, that sounds like a fun game. Especially since nowadays I'm kind of aspiring to be a photographer.
Really, I didn't know about that.
I have been posting photographs on DeviantArt, albeit a lot of them are recent ones or past trips pre ponies, obviously. But you'll be seeing a lot of convention stuff also.
Okay, now, right? We take this, we do outer glow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, and then we come up here, we change it to like dark, like vivid green. Okay. Vivid green. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Beautiful. And then we kind of like. Yeah, baby! Look at that! Pew pew.
Pew pew, indeed.
So if I draw on this layer, does it also?
Nice.
just stunned.
But they're
What
so
if we
small.
do, like-
They're so small. They're invading the turbo lasers. Straight. Give the crews to their fighters.
He's like, oh yeah, look at that glow you can do. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks awesome. Looks like you're shooting by him, right? You know what I mean? It looks like it's nearly missing him, you know what I mean? Just like right by him. And then let's do like a big glow here. He just fired. like a glow like that where it's like. Also, I think I want to fix the engine effect. So the engines shouldn't be white. I think they should be white. Yeah, or basically white. So let's kind of erase the. That's kind of weird, like the glow effect when you erase it. It's like the central bits are where it's kind of okay. Should be light. That's cooler. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man. Woo! the X-wing should be shooting. What am I doing? The X-wings shoot kind of red, don't they? They shoot like pink, sort of, don't they? X team. Yeah, they shoot like vibrant dark, like blood red. Which is kind of funny, you know, like the good guys shoot red lasers, you know, and you're like, huh. You wouldn't. Who'd have thunk it? So we do kind of like almost orange, like vivid orange. You like.
I got a little cooked, but I'm okay.
Got a little cooked, but I'm okay. They kind of shoot in a succession where they go, you know what I mean? Like they're not all at once where they're wet. I guess they have a choice. So maybe he's shooting all of them at in a succinct blast.
It's a little like the planes at Midway.
Well, I mean, George Lucas spent a bunch of time watching old war footage to make Star Wars when he first made it. He liked, you know, like attack runs and stuff like that where they dive in and
Yeah.
blow stuff up. Which in space doesn't make much sense, obviously. But it looks sick, so lots of Star Wars is just because it looks cool. Don't use that against me talking about the hyperspace jump. That's just dumb, alright? You ruined Star Wars. Hyperspace jump. Used as a weapon? What are you thinking? Why would anyone use X-wings? Like, ever? I don't want to get in an X-wing if I have to like go off and die.
Those few moments of silence were quite something to. Those few moments of silence were quite something to see.
noise, kind of high. It's a bit higher. There we go. Red not too big. What color were they? They were kind of like, yeah, they were pretty red. Yeah, all right, that's okay. What? It's really hard to make. How do you mimic the noise that the X-wings make when they're shooting?
I think it's safe to say I'm the better impressionist here.
It sounds so weird.
Pew pew pew.
Kind of sound like squeezing, like kind of awkward noise.
Pick one up, watch it. I can't see it. He's on my tongue. I can't shake him. Was it?
Weird, but I'm gonna work it.
Well, it's safe to say my birthday was small but adequate.
Oh yeah, you. How did it go?
26 candles on a single layer chocolate cake.
Jeez.
I think it's safe to say my folks are. I think it's safe to say my folks are a little bit pyro-ish. Ice cream too. Of all the gifts, I can pinpoint at least one highlight.
Oh.
My sister sent me Big World Big Adventures yesterday.
Huh.
I'm hoping to finish it sometime tomorrow.
All right, I think we'll call that for tonight.
Yeah.
Let you wrap us up, Alex.
I can understand the points of contention, and yes, I also did notice some liberties taken. But aside from that, I got the same enjoyment of I got the same enjoyment out of this. About the same amount of enjoyment out of this as most of the fans did.
That's good.
Yeah.
I imagine you guys have some interesting things.
How about the video?
Yeah.
I think it was all right. I don't know. I guess I thought lower of it on coming in, but I think I came away from it. It's okay. It's better than I thought. Right. Voice acting was kind of throwing me off a bit, and the faces weren't doing it for me, but the animation otherwise was pretty good. And
Yeah, animation was fine. Voice was okay. Faces were disturbing.
but yeah, overall, if you're a Thomas fan, I'm sure you'd like it. It's all right. Buy my books. Probably not something I'd watch, but that's just. I mean, I've already kind of watched it once. You know, I've seen the stop motion. You know what I mean? It's kind of.
I don't think really you're gonna get. I don't think really you're gonna get a taste of the tail end of the model-based era next week.
We could do a Gravity Falls again. Get back into that. Be good. I've been lacking my Gravity Falls.
Also, we have a reaction coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'll see if I can make that. I don't know if I can. We'll see. I might be doing something.
Yeah, I'll be here.
All right. Now I gotta go.
Shouldn't be too long. Anyway, so reactions as well as our continuation on celebrating Sodar's 75th. Stay safe, stay well, and hope you join us then. Take care.
Later.
Take it easy.